think that way. Everybody that has stepped in the ring with me before have thought that way too. And 23 have tried, and 23 has failed. And he's going to be 24. Getting ready for my next fight. And I want to wish a happy 28th to my favorite prospect.
But if Zayas pulls this off, a star is born. He'll instantly become one of the top 5 or so.
With only a few days to go until their highly awaited fight, Xander Zayas has sent Jaron Ennis a harsh warning and made him the next person on his list of people to kill. In a recent interview, Ennis swore with confidence that he was the highest-paid boxer in the junior middleweight class. He said that any 154-pound boxer would be best off facing him. Ennis says that his name is the most important one in the division. He stuck to his belief that a fight with him was inevitable, no matter what his opponents did. He made it clear that he thinks he is the best player in his class, and that any opponent who tries to avoid him is just putting off what will happen anyway.
I'm really the cash cow at 154 for real. So these guys can fight this guy, fight that, fight that guy, but when they fight me, I'm the cash cow. They're gonna make the most money fighting me, and that's with anybody in the division. So they gotta see me. I got the biggest name, I got the hottest name. I'm the best fighter at 154.
When asked about their upcoming fight, Jaron Ennis said that Xander Zayas will be tougher than Virgil Ortiz Jr. He praised Zayas' wide range of skills, his ability to change, and his overall success in the ring. Ennis said that Zayas is a tough opponent and a true unified winner because he has more qualities than Ortiz. Instead of ignoring what Zayas had done, Ennis praised his rival and admitted that he was a danger. Even so, he was still sure of the result and said that the title belts would leave the arena with him and go back to Philadelphia when the fight was over.
I think, like I said, Xander is a solid fighter. I think he got a little bit more tools than Ortiz, maybe. He could box a little better. But I don't know, I feel like Virgil is somewhat the better fighter, but
experience and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think he's got a little bit more experience and things like that. But Xander, like I said, Xander he's not a bad fighter. He's a solid fighter. He unified champ. You can't take nothing away from him. But on fight night, them belts is coming back to Philadelphia straight like that. You know what I'm saying? Real rip. I'm about to be a 2-time unified weight division champ. I was already unified at 47. I do it at 54. And we're going to collect the rest of the belts at 54, be undisputed.
Boots said Zayas thinks he is wrong to ignore him and treat him like he is less important than him. Instead of being angry, Zayas has accepted that method, saying that any opponent who has thought less of him in the past has been punished. He took a moment to tell everyone that 23 other fighters had already tried to beat him but failed. Based on his excellent track record, Zayas said that Ennis would be the 24th target. He claimed that being called the underdog doesn't bother him at all because he is sure that he will win on fight night and prove the doubters wrong.
Way, you think?
In every way necessary, every way of the word, I feel like he feels that I'm not at his level. That might be his feeling, but that's good. Let him think that way. Everybody that has stepped in the ring with me before have thought that way too. And 23 have tried.
In terms of how to fight, Xander Zayas found major flaws in Jaron Ennis' game. Zayas talked about Ennis' movement and footwork, saying that he can look less quick and coordinated than many people think. In addition, he said that Ennis has shown signs of pain when opponents hit him in the middle with body shots. That's what Zayas plans to do when they share the ring. Zayas is sure of his training and thinks that the fight will show if what he thinks is true. He said he was somewhat sure that his plan would help him find chances that other people had missed. He kept his cool, sure that the benefits he thinks he has would become clear when the fight night action started.
In this fight for Ennis?
Man, his feet, he's flat-footed. And body, he doesn't like a body that much, so.
To show that he is sure of himself, Xander Zayas has spent a lot of time in the gym making sure that his big statements come true on fight night. He works on every part of his game in training videos that are often shared online. A lot of attention was paid to his traditional stance, placement, and preparation for an opponent like Jaron Ennis, who is fast, mobile, and athletic. Zayas has also spent weeks doing hard sparring sessions to improve his timing, throw harder, and build up the energy he will need to keep up a fast pace throughout the fight. From what I've heard, he is fully committed to getting in shape for the fight and is ready to let his training speak louder than any words he says before the fight.
Getting ready for Jaron Boots Ennis, June 27th. Let's go, Puerto Rico, you got one. Let's see, can he maintain unified champion status, or will it be
Shane Mosley's review of the fight showed that Xander Zayas actually had some benefits, such as being bigger, faster, and able to move around more easily. Mosley says that the Puerto Rican king has a good chance of winning because of these traits, which helps explain why many fans are rooting for him before the fight. Even though Mosley knew Zayas had some good qualities, he picked Jaron Boots Ennis in the end. He said that Ennis has one of the most complete sets of skills in the class, which makes him very hard to beat. Also, Mosley talked about Ennis's growing experience, calmness, and ring IQ. He said that Ennis's fighter growth could be the deciding factor when they finally fight.
He has a good chance to win because he's bigger and he has a lot of speed and foot movement and stuff like that. But for me, I just think Boots has too many tools, man. And he's a little bit older and wiser, but he has too many tools. But you never know. I mean, Xander actually fights, so he must see something. Because this fight, if he beats Boots, it makes him one of the legendary fighters in Puerto Rico. You know what I'm saying? Now, he's a champion thing, but this fight will make him like, okay, he was a beast.
Might put him in the pound for pound.
Yeah, put him in the pound for pound.
Shane Mosley said that Xander Zayas may have found a flaw in Jaron Ennis' style while going over the strategy he had talked about in earlier talks. Mosley says that Zayas often thinks that Ennis might get angry when opponents don't want to fight at his pace and on his terms. He said Zayas would probably focus on moving laterally and where the ring is located, using his skills to keep Ennis at a distance and limit his chances to attack. Mosley says Zayas seems sure that Ennis will find it hard to close the distance, block the ring, and regularly land clean blows because he is always moving. As Zayas and his team try to get a big win, Mosley thinks that this tactics plan is an important part of their plan.
In Boots, and I think that he sees that Boots is the one always going forward and aggressor, but maybe he can't fight somebody that's boxing him. And I think Xander sees that he moves his legs really good. It's gonna be hard for Boots to get to him. And I think that's what they're banking on. So I think exactly what you said, that he thinks he's gonna have more success when he moves around Boots, and Boots is not gonna be able to get closer because he's bigger and taller.
In the same way, Sean Zittel has said that he thinks Xander Zayas beating Jaron Boots would be better for the sport as a whole, showing his support for the younger fighter. His words have caused a lot of controversy, and people who back him have responded strongly on social media. Zittel pointed out that the two fighters are very different in age, saying that Zayas is about 6 years younger than Ennis and that they will be fighting. He thought that the 23-year-old Puerto Rican sensation would quickly become a famous figure in the sport and speed up his rise to become a boxing hero if he won. Zittel thought that a win in this fight would give the division new life and make Zayas one of the most famous boxing stars for years to come.
And talking about all his wonderful talent, I said, I actually think, and I know it's going to get a lot of people mad at me, and I was right, that Xander Zayas winning the fight would be better for boxing. Now, why did you say that, Sean? Well, let's get into why. Zayas is, on the night of the fight, going to be 5.5 years younger, I believe, than Jaron Ennis, who turns 29 the day before the fight, or the night of the fight. Zayas is 23 years old. And Zayas, if he wins this fight, a star is born on the spot. Now, Ennis can get there, and if he keeps winning, there's always I always say this.
Sean Zittel went on to say that Xander Zayas would become one of the 5 most famous boxers right away if he beat Jaron Boots. He said that such a win would make Zayas a much bigger name in the sport and speed up his rise to the top level of fame. Zittel also talked about how Puerto Rican fans have been waiting for a new hero for a long time, saying that they have been waiting almost 10 years for a fighter to step up and replace Miguel Cotto. He thought that if Zayas won this important game, it would make him the long-awaited successor with the same cultural importance and power as the famous past winner. He decided that pulling off this surprise would completely change Zayas' career overnight, rewriting his fate in the sport.
Right now, Jaron Ennis by decision, but honestly, this is one I just want to see play out and see what we get. But yeah, I gotta give the edge to Ennis by decision right now. Maybe a knockdown along the way, 116, 111, something like that. But if Zayas pulls this off, a star is born. He'll instantly become one of the top 5 or so biggest stars in boxing. So that's my reasoning for it. It's a Puerto Rican fan base that's been waiting about a decade for their next Cotto, their next.
At the same time, Robert Garcia stated that he will be at the next fight between Xander Zayas and Jaron Ennis. He said that he is really excited to see the fight happen. Garcia talked about Zayas' strong body, natural strength, and clear desire to win, saying that the fight was very competitive and closely fought. He finally moved a little toward picking Ennis to win when he was asked to make a guess. But he was quick to point out that Ennis would not have an easy victory. Garcia stressed that Zayas has everything he needs to make the night very tough for his opponent, and that the fight could become a real test from start to finish.
I already talked to Matchroom, and yes, I'm gonna be there. It's a great fight. Can't wait. Xander Zayas looks big and strong, and he's got the heart. He's got the hunger. So I think it's gonna be a very, very competitive fight.
Roy Jones Jr., a well-known and experienced boxer and commentator, said that Xander Zayas is very skilled and that this fight should not be taken lightly. But he also said that Jaron Ennis had more subtle, hard-to-define traits that often set top boxers apart from just good ones. Jones said that the fact that Ennis had been a professional athlete for longer had helped those abilities grow and thrive at a higher level. From his point of view, those intangible traits give Ennis an edge in what is likely to be a very close fight. Meanwhile, he made it clear that Zayas is still very much in the race and could change the outcome if he does a great job on fight night.
Xander is pretty good. Intangible-wise, I don't know that he can do everything Boots can do because Boots does have a lot of intangibles that Boots can do. I've seen him do a few more because he's been around a bit longer than Xander. But Xander's got to know how to make a adjustment. So with that being said, we'll have to see what happens. I don't know who will win the fight. The intangibles do lean toward Boots to me, but Xander's a hell of a fighter, a hell of a champion, and I've seen him in action up close when I had Slava fight him, and he gave Slava a pretty good, he made a good adjustment on Slava and came back and beat Slava, but Slava did hurt him early, but you never can tell. So does Boots have that kind of power? I think so, yeah. Does Boots have boxing skills? I know that for a fact.
But Roy Jones Jr. did say that he knew what to expect from the fight, especially the Puerto Rican crowd's strong support for Xander Zayas. He told Jaron Boots not to get distracted by what he thought was hostility or political bias in the setting. Jones told the crowd not to get into the ring, throw punches, or change the scorecards for the judges. He thinks that the feelings of the crowd can't change how a fight ends or what happens between the rings. His message to Ennis was to stay focused, not worry about the noise, and only think about the opponent in front of him, not the energy coming from outside the ring.
You don't need to worry about the crowd at all. The crowd ain't fighting. Only him and Xander are fighting. It's not like they're going to have a gang against a gang. Nah, it's just you. You know what I'm saying? When I participated there, I love the Puerto Rican crowd, but I knew most of them going to be cheering for Tito. That's cool. That's their man. What you expect them to do. So yeah, they're going to be cheering for Xander. That's cool. That's their man. What you expect them to do. But they're not fighting you. You're only going to fight him in that ring. You're going to fight nobody but him. That's why they got a referee, they got judges, they got security, and you ain't fighting one person.
From Roy Jones Jr.'s point of view, Chad Dawson has also said that he admires Xander Zayas, saying that he has closely watched a number of his fights and has even been to some of his training camps. In spite of how much he loves Jaron Ennis, Dawson thinks that Zayas hasn't faced an opponent with all of his skills yet. He talked about how easy it was for Ennis to switch between stances, how well he could do at both long and close range, and how he relied on better athletic tools that are hard to copy in fighting. Davis thinks that Ennis is on a higher level because of his natural skills and fighting IQ. He said that Ennis's speed and ability to change strategies could be enough to pose a real threat throughout the 12 rounds, making the fight much tougher for Zayas than any other he has faced so far.
Fight many times. I've been to a few of his camps. But again, he's never seen anyone like you before. Based on his style of fighting, you've seen fighters that fight like him before. Your style is completely different. Obviously, being able to switch hits, fight from distance, fight in the pocket, fight at range, anything you want to do. Athletically, you're probably going to be, just being honest, athletically, and when it comes to ring IQ, you're probably going to be 2 or 3 steps ahead of him. Obviously, I think speed is going to be a problem for him as well, which there's no one he can actually get in his camp to kind of mirror what.
Thurman has also praised Xander Zayas for his achievements so far, noticing that a lot of people are very interested in him now. But he thought Zayas would have done better to let that energy grow even more before getting into such a dangerous competition. Thurman asked Zayas if he was ready for the hardest test of his career, implying that this job may not be available at the best time for him. He thinks that this particular move up might happen earlier than planned, which might put Zayas through tests before he really reaches his full fighting potential.
Being able to do what he did, and I know he's got a lot of hype right now. I think he should be riding that hype train a little bit longer, and not sure if he's ready for the toughest fight of his career.
Okay, everyone, keep up with the newest boxing stories, events, clips, and news. You won't miss an update if you subscribe to Ring Expose and turn on alerts. Check out our other movies. Be careful and stay safe until next time.